Since 2016, I've generated over 1 million email subscribers for my own brands and for those of clients during that period. And without a doubt, there's been one particular funnel that has performed way above anything else that I've ever seen. And it continues to outperform every other funnel that I try and create. What is that? It's the online virtual summit. Now, even when I started 8 years ago, everybody back then was saying that summits were dead. And if you look around, you'll see ads everywhere for summits. There are more and more brands popping up that just produce online summits and don't do anything else. So there is still a huge amount of opportunity there for you if you are interested in attraction-based marketing. And that's really what summits are. It allows you to do a couple of things, which I'm going to go through in a second. But before I get to that, over the last few years, I've been building a pet care brand. And I just want to show you some proof of like how these summits are actually converting. So even our very first summit here, we had 11,000 views, 6,000 registrations at a 56% conversion rate. And then we just kept doing it. So this particular one here, we had almost 22,000 opt-ins at 61% conversion rate, 22,600 here at 58%, 18 or almost 19,000 here at 60% conversion rates, 16,500 here at 60% conversion rates. I could go on, but we've actually had over 200,000 people sign up for our events over the last almost 3 years now, and they just continue to work. So how does an actual summit funnel work? It works the same as any other funnel, which is you attract people with an opt-in page. Once they register, they're then inside the funnel where you begin to make them an offer. So the way we do it is as soon as they sign up and opt in, we have a one-time offer, which is if people want to take action immediately to purchase the VIP upsell, which generally includes a whole bunch of bonuses on top of the summit talks, then they can do that. And a certain percentage of people will do that. And then if they don't, then they get to watch the entire summit for free for a shorter period of time. And then we continue to make more offers during that period as well. And then also more back-end offers. So it works the same as any other funnel, but the key difference is this, and I'm going to draw this right now. So there's quite a few benefits for hosting a summit, but I'm just going to focus on two of the really big ones. The first one is, and this is what most people don't really think of, but it's actually your positioning. And I like to think about it like this. Let's say this is our registration page and you've got your opt-in form up here and your button, and then you'll have your picture of the people here. So the idea of the summit above the fold is to focus on the experts. So the experts are the people that you want to feature through this entire summit. And then you gradually begin to add yourself into the summit and position yourself alongside these experts. Because think about it. We know Oprah, right? Oprah is not really an expert at anything. At least when she got started, she was not an expert at anything. But she positioned herself alongside movie stars, authors, high-level business people. And then in turn, because she positioned herself next to all those people, she actually became more famous and probably more wealthy and successful and powerful than almost all of them. So there's a lot of power just in the positioning alone. But the second part to having an online summit is you've got all of these experts, right? So you could do a podcast and you could release these 4 episodes 1 week at a time. Or you could do, and if you do a podcast, then you're going to be relying on organic traffic, or maybe the host will promote it if you're really lucky, which means you have to do a video podcast, which means then you have to have really good video editing skills. You've got to go through, find the clips, get it to go viral. You're probably going to have to do at least 100 episodes before you even gain traction. Whereas with a summit, it is basically like a podcast anyway. But let's say you put together 15 different speakers on the same type of topic and put it together into this one event. Now, all of a sudden in the marketplace, this particular summit becomes very attractive for people to want to sign up for. So they'll view your summit as something that is way higher in value than a podcast. There's also the other part of this, which is the limited time component. So the whole point of doing a summit is to build up the hype and excitement around this particular event, and that everybody watches together at a certain time. It's like a watch party. YouTube invested in tools to make it easy for people to have watch parties so they could watch with their friends and chat about it. It's the exact same premise. We're creating a party, an exciting event where people want to come to. So when we combine all of these things, it then allows us to do one main thing, which you can't really do with podcasts in a really good way, which is generate leads. The whole aim and game of online business is to build your audience. And the best way to build your audience is to get them on your email list. I've generated millions of dollars in my businesses over the years, and 80% of that revenue has come from email lists. It could be higher. So the email list is absolutely key. And if you're not focusing on that in the early stages of business, then you're going to grow so much slower. I know tons of people with 1,000 followers on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and so forth, but they've got tens of thousands of people on their email list. So they're easily making hundreds of thousands of dollars per year. Whereas, and I also know the opposite is true. I know one guy in particular who has 300,000 people on in his social media followers and is barely making six figures. And I could go on. Plenty of people that I know. I remember I dated this one girl once, and she so desperately wanted to get to 10,000 followers on her Instagram page just so she could get one or two brand posts per month where they would pay her $500. Whereas if she built up an email list of 10,000 people, provided value to them, created things that they wanted, created courses and so forth, she could probably create $10,000 per month from the email list itself. So if we can focus on doing that and building the email list over time, then we begin to move those people into our particular environment. So that's what I would call like the indoctrination into our brand. And then once you start developing that relationship, so you go from there into building a relationship, then you can start to create courses, workshops, services, products based on what your people actually want. You don't have to guess. So when it comes to digital marketing, there's two big things that we need to think about, which is number one, you've got your lead generation campaigns. And then number two, you've got your activation campaigns or your more higher ticket. So it's like the higher ticket programs, which is created by like an activation event, like a workshop or so forth, or even an application funnel. So if you can build a business that has a great lead gen strategy plus a great higher ticket strategy, that's easily a 7-figure company. In fact, we've been really bad at this part of it for basically my entire career, and I've still managed to generate millions of dollars. I probably could have made 5 times as much money if I built good high ticket programs, but at the time when I first got started, I didn't really want to do that. And right now I still don't want to do that, but we are looking at ways to build in more high ticket stuff because it's definitely a much easier way, a much easier path. Whereas our summits are so good for lead gen that we just continue to build more and more people. And the more people you bring into your community, the more hype it creates, where you find your true fans and your true followers who really buy into your mission and appreciate what you do and absolutely love every single part of it. I wanted to share this with you because summits are not dead. And it is a great way to position yourself in the market alongside much more experienced people who have much more authority that you can gain from them. So that's just a quick example of how we can create marketing campaigns that bring us leads rather than having to go out and do cold calling or cold emailing all the time and trying to sell people. There's much easier and more fun ways. Getting to interview people is so fun as well. If you are interested in learning specifically how to do online summits, I've done more than 50 virtual summits now. I think it's even more than 60 virtual summits I've been behind. I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on ads for those summits. I've generated over 1 million leads for summits. If there is interest, then I'll actually sit down and I will document that entire process and put it on YouTube for free. It'll probably go for 2 or 3 hours. It'll be the longest, most in-depth virtual summit masterclass for free that the world has probably seen. But I'm only going to do it if there's interest. So if you are interested in that, comment down below. I'd be super keen to understand what specifically you want to know about virtual summits and how I can best serve you in that. And then I'll go away, and if there's demand, I'll create the best program for free on summits that YouTube is seeing. Anyway, let me know on that, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video.